for joining us here in BlockShow Asia in Singapore.
My pleasure.
No, thank you, thank you. It's actually our pleasure because we get to speak to some of the most innovative, thoughtful minds out there. And you lend your expertise to us and your takes on what's happening in the blockchain world, in the crypto world, in the Bitcoin world. And you, especially in the world of FinTech, you've seen a lot of changes. You did an interview with 52 different FinTech entrepreneurs. What's your most memorable story from that?
I think my most memorable story is on this startup called 10x. That's before they pivoted into blockchain. And of course they entirely changed their business model. And of course then subsequently they successfully raised 80 million US dollar, which is still a record high for a Singapore-based company to raise that amount of money.
So
and they raised just at the right time. Yes, correct. And of course, they inspired a lot more to follow suit. Yes, correct.
Did you see the other people that followed suit, did they have the same success, or did they fall to the wayside when the shake-up?
No, I mean, because they pivoted early last year, and they raised it probably in May last year, and then they inspired a few others. Those who did so right till March of this year, I think they were quite successful in raising the amount of money they need for their business. But of course, after March, things get a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, correct. Now, they say, part of the entrepreneurial process, right, is figuring out your idea, figuring out your ideas, and figuring out if there's a product fit, if there's a market fit, right? So, do you have enough customers? Can you scale? But guess what? After you answer all those questions, you raise the money. There's a whole nother world that opens up of challenges that you have as an entrepreneur, and being able to pivot. If you have a great team, that allows you to do something. So entrepreneurs should know a good team is invaluable for so many different reasons. What have you found the success of the entrepreneurs that you've interviewed? What is the common denominator that they had?
I think the common denominator that I've seen, because if I reflect back on the 52 entrepreneurs that I've interviewed, quite a number of them has pivoted. So I think the ability to make the quick decision that it's time for you to change your business model because the old one is no longer working is important. Because I think no one has all the perfect answers.
It's just the truth.
And either you got lucky early, or you just pivot enough to be successful.
Right. That's very true, very true. So the Singapore FinTech Association. What are the plans for the next 6 months, the plans for the next year?
We have a lot of big plans. Of course, the first thing is that we will be introducing our individual membership next year. Because currently we only take in corporate members. But we have
to be invited?
Pardon?
Are you invited? Is that how you become a member?
No. We are very inclusive. We take in any FinTech companies, even those incorporated overseas. Which is why we are a very international association, although we are called the Singapore FinTech Association. We have international partnerships in more than 35 countries over the last 2 years.
Wow. You've been working pretty hard right now.
I take it that the association is a startup for myself.
Wow, it has to be, because undergoing something like that in 2 years, you've accomplished a lot. Most startups don't even accomplish that level of penetration of groundwork, right? So, congratulations to you on that.
But in a way, just now I shared that timing is everything. We are lucky early. We just ride on the FinTech wave, and whereby the Singapore is one of the few FinTech hubs that got many things right. So we just ride on that wave.
So Southeast, a lot is happening in this area, and it's actually just mind-blowing of the adoption here. And one of the things that I was introduced to was the culture. That the culture here trusts the government a little bit more. And that's why there's been so much more adoption on a smaller scale, but monumental adoptions in the grander scale of blockchain, crypto, and Bitcoin. Do you think the next, it's kind of a loaded question, but would you say blockchain is the next big fintech revolution?
Yeah. So in fact, since June, I have been pitching that Singapore could become the next financial blockchain center. Yeah, because traditionally Singapore has been strong as an international financial center.
Right.
Over the last few years, we managed to become the next one of the leading fintech hubs of the world. And then I think it's logical and it makes a lot of sense for Singapore to tap onto the blockchain revolution and become the next financial blockchain center, because financial services has always been one of our stronger points, right? Especially international finance. And if you look at the history of blockchain, it has been very much suitable for financial use cases. We have like a statistic showing that more than 80% of banks are experimenting with some kind, at least some sort of blockchain experiments.
Okay.
We have reports from PwC showing that in the next 3 years, more money is going to be invested in blockchain than any other industries. The number 2 industry is actually the healthcare industry, but they are way behind the financial industry. So I think with the evolution of blockchain, and then of course now we hear a lot about security tokens, or even the hybrid security tokens, whereby at one point a utility become a security token, or a security become a utility token. I think we have a lot to go and to do well in this particular segment, especially with a very progressive regulator.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
but
no, I was going to say, I look forward, quite frankly, to seeing what happens with the regulatory regime in here. I know that this is going to be ground zero for a lot of innovation, and I look forward to seeing what the Singapore Blockchain Association is actually going to accomplish. Singapore FinTech Association will accomplish.
In fact, we decided that actually it's very challenging for the regulator to even start regulating this particular industry. That's why I just recently launched Token Economy Association.
Okay.
Yeah. So to act as a self-regulatory organization.
Fantastic.
To make it to make the whole process more transparent. Whereby there will be more accountability.
Right.
So subsequently there will be more investor protection.
Okay.
So I'm advocating for the industry to self-regulate so that this digital assets industry has a chance to grow well and go good in Singapore, and hope that that can become a model for the rest of the world to follow.
Well, I got to tell you, I really appreciate you sharing this with me. Anything you need from us, please reach out to BlockShow. Please reach out to Cointelegraph. We'd like to help you with that mission as well.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Chia.
Okay, thanks.